Now, over the years, I've considered myself fortunate and have had the pleasure, for the most part, to interview several influential newsmakers from all walks, including politics, entertainment, sports. One of the funnest, charismatic, colorful, is boxing promoter or legend Don King. Now, he is known for that catchphrase, right? Only in America. As I stuck the microphone in Mr. King's face and fired one question after another for about 10 minutes, he was gracious enough to give me that time. He kept sort of kind of answering my question, but he'd go off on a tangent. It's Don King. And he kept sliding in that catchphrase, only in America. I was blown away. I was like, what you see is what you get in person, inches away. I was like, this Don King really is Don King. Pretty cool. Anyway, it was that memorable 2 decades ago that I'm sharing it with you now. I'm going to borrow Don King's phrase. Only in America would you see a golden age right now transpiring. The golden age. That's a phrase belonging to the current sitting president, the 47th POTUS, also the 45th, Donald J. Trump, sworn in 1 month ago. Now, within this golden age, it's like an onion and the layers being peeled back. You have all these kind of subdivisions going on where a new age is transpiring. One of them, new media. I saw it for myself. I was at inauguration weekend 1 month ago, freezing my keister off. It was bone-chilling cold. That's why they moved all the events practically indoors, for good reason. However, there was more new media and renegade media types like myself, one-man bands doing different reports, streaming on social, running around with different types of cameras and cell phones and all kinds of new equipment and just getting out there and hustling and grinding. I didn't see the legacy media. I noticed it as you see yours truly out there in the snow having a fun time reporting on all the happenings. It was like new media was alive and well and staking its claim. And Donald Trump has said he's going to usher in a new age for new media and start welcoming new media like yours truly. I'm ready, Mr. Trump. Invite me to the Oval Office. I want to cover one of your press conferences. That's one of my goals the next 4 years. He's going to usher out the legacy media, the activists. Look at this headline right here. This is from MSNBC, who Trump appropriately calls, or affectionately calls, or both, MSDNC. Trump White House bans Associated Press indefinitely from Oval Office, Air Force One. That was last week. This is an AP story from last week where they take actual, in the paragraphs, they take actual quotes from Caroline Leavitt. She's the new press secretary for Trump. Sharp as a tack. Super bright and a really, really good voice of reason to have as the press secretary. Trump found a winner right here with Miss Leavitt. Here's what she was quoted as saying. I'll share the article. In the first paragraph, White House pointed out that the AP was allowed into the briefing Wednesday, last week again, but continued to take issue with the style of the Gulf's name. They're alluding to the fact that the AP is not buying in to Trump's executive order, where he put into motion from now on, the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. The AP not having it. They're going to do it their way, basically, and still refer to it as the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of America. They don't care what Trump has to say. So within that paragraph again, nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. Leavitt said, we reserve the right to decide who gets into the Oval Office. Down at the bottom, the third paragraph, asked if barring AP reporters was retaliatory. Leavitt said that the Interior Secretary has codified the name change in official documents. And that pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized the body of water as the Gulf of America. So the government, they changed the name. The other media outlets, they're recognizing it. Google Maps recognized it. There you see it. They changed the name. But the AP will do things the AP's way. Now, when I was at ASU, the way to do things the appropriate way as a journalist, and when you used a guide or reference, it was the holy grail. It was using this, the AP style guide. And I found this slide right here, which is pretty interesting. It's applicable to today. It saves me from going on a diatribe right now to giving you the explanation as to why do I need to learn the AP style. And this is pretty much the 3 guidelines that I was taught you needed to go by. Number 1, it's absolutely necessary to be familiar with the style to be a journalist. 2, while most research papers may require you to use the MLA style, even colleges are going to the AP style for citing works and uniformity. 3, not writing. Using the AP style can affect your job. And that was absolutely the truth back then again. And the AP style guide was what you needed to use to write your stories. And I learned all about writing, not only writing, just again, citing your references and being factual. Being grammatically correct. Again, a point of reference, a guideline. And you lived and died by that AP style guide. And that's what you used. Well, over the years, the AP style guide has gone woke. Surprise, surprise. Take a look at the style guide from the AP, okay? Let's skip to number 2. Demands the use of gender-affirming care. The guide says to use the term to describe puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and gender reassignment surgeries. Let's go down to number 4. Characterizes black people as black people. White people's skin color plays into systematic inequalities and injustices, and we want our journalism to robustly explore those problems. But capitalizing the term white, as is done by white supremacists, risks subtly conveying legitimacy to such beliefs. Pretty unbelievable. Let's go to the next page. Let's just go to number 9. The phrase catch and release. In chain migration, the guide says chain migration is vague and may imply unfettered immigration, while catch and release is misleading and a dehumanizing term. So there you go. I'm going to put the link in the comments. There's a great article on this in Breitbart, and you can check out the 1 through 9 far left guide to see how woke the AP has become. And again, this is not practicing journalism. This is practicing activism. But that's all about to end as Trump welcomes a new age of new media. A golden age in America has begun, and you're going to see that happen and transpire throughout all levels of media. And eventually, the AP and their style guide will also be put out to pasture. For now, they're being put out of the Oval Office and Air Force One.